Welcome back. All right, so 5 games today in the NHL, and since they were spread out the way they were, I did a board with these 2 games first, and then there's your standard board behind it with 3 games on it. So we're going to jump in talking about Anaheim and Winnipeg. Took a while for Winnipeg to wake up today, didn't it? So it was Stolarz versus Hellebuck in this one. Early press by the Ducks. The Jets were flat to start this game. You could just see it. They were just flat. They weren't completing their passes very well. Leeson has a shot that's held. The Jets get zone time. They weren't getting shots at that point. There was a power play for the Jets. Pionk has a blast that's held. That power play is killed off. The Ducks press at 9 minutes. The shots at this stage in the period were already 7-1. So, yeah, pretty rough start for the Jets in this one. Ducks press at 9 minutes, as I said. Then there's a press by the Ducks that draws a power play after that. Vetrano has a shot that's saved. Wheeler rushes. That power play is killed off, but the Ducks go back to the power play. Then they score, but it's after the power play by 3 seconds. It's Silverberg, his first point in 16 games from Vetrano and Shattenkirk at 15-16, and he buried a rebound to get that goal. Jets get a power play. Morrissey has a shot that's blocked. Scheifele had a shot kicked aside. Power play is killed off. Those were the 2 shots on net during that. Jets press afterwards. Stolarz holds, and then the Ducks had some pressure in the final minute. So after one period, it is 1-0 for Anaheim. Second period, Bull used tonight on a rebound. The Ducks have the early edge again. Gagne had a net feed that was blocked. The Ducks clear. The Jets press at 4.5 minutes. They're kept to the outside. And then on a breakaway, Leeson makes it 2-0 Anaheim at 5:09. I'm not kidding either. I said out loud, well, I guess the Ducks aren't going to be behind today. The Ducks coming into today in all 25 of their games had trailed at some point. I thought maybe today's that time where they stop having to worry about trailing in every single game. That would be incorrect. Henrique had a blast that was saved. The Jets are still in neutral. Schmidt then had a shot blocked. There was a brief press by the Jets, and then that momentum swing takes place. It's Menelainen scoring from Schmidt and Lowry at 10:31. He tipped that one in from in close. The Jets press with 8 minutes left. There were some near misses there. Pionk has a shot that deflects out. The Jets tie it. It's reviewed for a high stick, but it counts. It's Sandberg from Connor and Dubois at 13:28. It wasn't a coach-initiated, so it didn't result in a power play. But then the Jets would get a power play shortly thereafter anyways. Good pressure on that. It's killed off, just the 2 shots. Jets press in the final minute. Wheeler's denied. But after 2 periods, it's a 2-2 tie. Third period. Jets press at 2 minutes. They had the early edge. Ducks get a power play. That's killed off. The shots are 6-3 for the Jets at 6.5 minutes. Ducks press at 7 minutes. The Jets ice the puck. Shattenkirk then had a net feed. That was cleared out. Leeson has a rush chance that's defended. The Ducks press at 7 minutes. But then at 14:23, the Jets get the lead. It's Barron from Lowry and Menelainen. That one scored on a rush. That line was very good today for the Jets. And then at 15:12, the insurance goal. It's Scheifele from Wheeler and Perfetti. The Jets press with 3.5 minutes left. The goalie gets pulled with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. And then with 1:33 left, the Jets get a power play. And they score on it. It's Nate Schmidt from Morrissey and Connor at 19:15. That makes it 5-2. That would be your final score. The Ducks drop to 6-17-3 with the loss. The Jets are 15-7-1 for the win. The shots in this one, 18-7 Anaheim in the first, and then the Jets wake up and outshoot them 15-5 in the second, 18-7 in the third. Final shots 40-30 for the Jets. Power plays, Anaheim 0 for 3, Winnipeg 1 for 4. The hits, 18-12 in favor of the Jets. Stolarz saves 35 out of 40. Hellebuck, another good game for him. 28 saves on 30 shots. All right, next up. The Minnesota Wild in against the Dallas Stars. Never turn a Dallas game off. Just saying. As a general rule, you don't turn a Dallas game off. This game is a good example of why. So it's Fleury versus Ottinger. Early jump for Dallas. Wild get a power play in the first minute, though. The Stars didn't let them set up. It's killed off. No shots for Minnesota on their power play. Lindell fires one high on a rush. Suter has a blast that's blocked. There's some momentum for Dallas at this point. Zuccarello then had a net drive that was blocked, but the shots are 5-2 in favor of the Stars at 6 minutes. Things get pushy after a hold by Ottinger. The Stars were spring-loaded, for lack of a better term. Like every time they had the puck, going for that stretch pass, going for that rush chance, wanting that break. And so that's something you're fighting against with Dallas all the time. So, Wild press, they draw a power play. Kaprizov was being swarmed when he was in the slot, so lots of Dallas Stars keeping an eye on him. Not that it ends up mattering. So that happens, and then there was too many Wild on the ice, so you have 4 seconds of 4-on-4. Then Dallas goes to the power play. Strong penalty kill by the Wild, and then there was a 3-on-1, which was a post for Kaprizov and Boldy's denied. The Wild then go back to the power play, and they score on it. It's Kaprizov from Zuccarello and Addison at 15:04. So it's 1-0 in favor of the Wild in this one. Stars go back to the power play. There was a post for Robertson. That's killed off. There were 3 shots for Dallas on that power play. Boldy fires one high on a 2-on-1. Greenway had a rush chance that was saved. And with 52.5 seconds left, Dallas goes back to the power play. So that rolls over into the second period. Good early jump for Dallas because, of course, they had the power play, which was killed off. Heiskanen has a shot that's held. The shots are 6-1 for Dallas at the 4-minute mark. And then at 6:58, it's Hintz scoring from Robertson. Really strong forecheck by Dallas ends up setting that up. Rebound buried, and then the Stars look for the lead. And the Stars get a power play, so you can feel this momentum. It's a 1-1 tie. Ben has a net drive that's defended, and then there's a fast break the other way, and it goes in that at his Dewar. Scores from Shaw at 10:42. The Wild then killed the rest. The Stars did press after, but now they're down 2-1. Boldy couldn't bury one as the Wild tried to extend the lead, but then Middleton did. Top corner, far side, from Spurgeon and Reeves at 13:17. And then 15 seconds later, Mini scores again. It's Greenway from Reeves, buries a rebound there. So Ryan Reeves with 2 assists over a period of a little less than 2 minutes. So, or less than a minute, 15 seconds. So just throws me off. Reeves with 2 assists. Who knew? So 14th shot for the Wild was that one, and the Stars had 23. So the Stars had been controlling a lot of the play, but then Minnesota rapid fire, and that momentum swing would definitely take effect. Steele fires one wide on a rush, and then the Wild press with a minute and a half left. So, coming out of that second period, the Dallas Stars are down 4-1. Third period, Wedgwood was in the net for Dallas, and he's welcomed at 29 seconds by a deflected shot from Eriksson Ek that beats him from Foligno and Spurgeon. So it's 5-1 at the start of the third period, and this game looks like it's done, to be honest. It looked like Dallas was pretty much done with this. So that was deflected in. 3.5 minutes in, the shots are 3-1 for the Wild. They were the better team at that stage. The Stars would press at 6 minutes, and eventually, Roope Hintz scores to make things interesting. From Pavelski and Robertson at 7:11, it was a one-timer on a cross-ice pass. And then at 7:50, Robertson scores again from Hintz and Lindell. And I say again because Robertson scores seemingly in every game. And so that rebound was put around Fleury by Robertson. Really nice play there to go around him. Stars look for another, and they get it. At 9:55, it's Marchment. He scores from Pavelski and Faksa, roofs it in close. It was a one-timer. Then we had a fight between Middleton and Faksa. Coming out of that, the Wild come out with a power play because, of course, Dallas always gets the extra 2 minutes in a fight. I think this is 3 games in a row or 3 games out of 4 where after a fight, it's decided Dallas started it. So, all right. Spurgeon has a shot that deflects high as it ends. So they did kill that off, stayed within 1. Steele's denied on a rush, Wild press after, but Dallas would get control. They would pull the goaltender and they would score 6-on-5. It was Roope Hintz finishing out the hat trick from Pavelski and Miller at 17:49. So we're going to overtime. A game that was 5-1 early in the third goes to overtime. Heiskanen has a net drive that's held. Kaprizov's denied on a rush. Zuccarello has a shot that's covered. There's a near miss for Sagan. The Wild take it back. Kaprizov fires one high on a rush, but we're going to a shootout. And in the shootout, all 3 Wild members scored, the final one being Gaudreau. There was 1 save at the other end of the ice. So the Gaudreau goal is the winner. Your final score 6-5 in a shootout for Minnesota over Dallas, who were wearing their reverse retros. Of course, Anaheim was wearing their reverse retros. They've been wearing the whole road trip. Shots in this one, 12-7 Dallas in the first, 13-9 Dallas in the second, 12-9 Minnesota in the third, and 3-1 Minnesota in the overtime. Final shots, 35-31 for Dallas. Power plays, Minnesota 1 for 4, Dallas 0 for 4. The hits 28-13 in favor of Minnesota. Fleury saves 30 out of 35. Ottinger saves 12 out of 16, gets replaced. Wedgwood 14 saves on 15 shots. It's one of those things with Ottinger, it's the consistency game over game. And with young goaltenders, it's not necessarily a big surprise. It is something to keep an eye on, though, for Dallas fans. But they were down by 4, and they came back and tied it and forced overtime. So that happened yet again. And now, I need to change boards. And now we move on to the other 3 games on a more standard board. With Detroit and Columbus, Columbus wearing their fantastic reverse retros. And I know I keep saying how fantastic they are because I think this batch of reverse retros is really nice. So it's Husso versus Korpisalo in this one. Good back and forth early. There was a brief press by Columbus. They're kept to the outside. The Wings press at 4 minutes. And Zarnik tips one in close during a press by Detroit at 6:34 from Berggren and Mata. So I'm guessing Berggren is sticking around. He's going to be with the team the full season, I would think. Since being called up, he's been excellent. So the Wings press at 8 minutes. Jenner couldn't bury on a 2-on-1. Kopp had a rush chance that deflects high. Raymond then had a shot that deflects out. Jenner on the doorstep as Husso holds on to a shot prior to that. With 2:52 left, the Wings get a power play and they score on it. Doesn't take long either. At 17:36, it's Kubalik from Hronek and Perron. It was a one-timer on a nice pass by Hronek. No surprise there. Hronek's been excellent. Wings go back to the power play, and so that rolls over into the second period. That's killed off. Early rushes for both teams. Kubalik had a net feed that's cleared. Sillinger has a rush chance that was saved. Columbus presses at 4.5 minutes. Husso holds on. There's some pushing after that. The Wings press, that draws them a power play. It then becomes 1 minute and 8 seconds of 5-on-3. Yep, the dreaded 5-on-3 shows up in this game. Not as much of the 5-on-3s today as we've been seeing lately, but still there. Things get punchy after a hold by Korpisalo, and then on the next play, Raymond scores during the 5-on-3 from Hronek and Perron. Same assists as on the Kubalik goal at 7:03, and he tipped it in at the side of the net. So it was a nice pass, easy goal for Raymond there. Columbus then kills off the 5-on-4. They would get some pressure of their own, and that gives them a power play. And at 16:20, Columbus gets on the board. Bjork scores from Jenner and Roslovic, and then with 1:42 left, Columbus goes back to the power play. Jenner's denied. They cycle it. It rolls over into the third period where the Wings finish the kill. There was only 18 seconds left. And then Johnson scores at 1:58 to make it a little closer. He scores from Gaudreau and Jenner, and suddenly it's 3-2. Gaudreau, nice pass for him as he was going for the wraparound. So he's doing the wraparound, and everybody seemed to be watching him, and he gets Johnson in front of the net. Wings score, but there's an offside challenge, so that doesn't count. Sherratt then took a puck to the fingertips and exited. That's a good way to break a finger. But again, as the announcer said, that's your natural reaction is to try to block it. You put your hand out, and even though you're wearing a glove, there's not a lot of padding or any padding really at the fingertips, so hopefully Sherratt's okay. Kopp would score to make it 4-2 from Mott and Sundqvist at 6:08, and then the Wings press for another. Laine has a rush chance that's saved. Things get pushy after a hold by Husso. Chinakhov to Robinson at the net. That's blocked out. Then Chinakhov takes a penalty right after that. There's 4:49 left. That's killed off, but we're down to 2:49 left when that's killed off. Then with 1:48 left, Columbus gets a power play. They'd already pulled the goaltender, so that makes it 6-on-4. Jenner with a near miss. The Wings clear, and they hang on. They win this one 4-2. For the Wings, they're 12-7-5 on the season. For Columbus, they're 8-13-2 with the loss. The losses at this point for Columbus it's really tough because you're 23 games into the season, right? Shots 13-8 Detroit in the first, 11-10 Detroit in the second, 16-11 Columbus in the third. Final shots 35-34 for Detroit. Power plays, the Wings 2 for 5, Columbus 1 for 3. Both teams had 13 hits in this game. Husso saves 32 out of 34. Korpisalo saves 31 out of 35. And yeah, it was an entertaining game. Next up, San Jose in against Buffalo. San Jose, in last night's game and tonight's game, got leads. They didn't keep leads, but they got leads. So it was Dell versus Luukkonen in this one. Early press by the Sabres. The shots are 4-2 in their favor 5 minutes in. They were playing quite well to start. Sabres get a power play. That's killed off. Peterka's denied. And then San Jose with a delay game call right after. So San Jose right back to the box. Dahlin then with a net drive. That's saved. And Buffalo scores. It is Thompson on the power play from Dahlin and Cousins at 9:19, and he buries the one-timer. So it's 1-0, and all the momentum is in favor of Buffalo. Skinner had a near miss on a net drive. It was wave after wave by the Sabres, and then the Sharks tie it. It's Nieto from Cunnin at 13:40. Wired it top shelf on what was a brief but effective press by the Sharks. The Sharks then get a power play, and they score on it. It is LeBanc from Benning and Nieto at 16:18. So it's 2-1. Cousins is then denied on a rush. But yeah, San Jose did well to close out this period. They had some momentum, and they almost tied up the shots. Second period. 16 seconds is what it takes for Peterka to get a goal from Cousins. The Sabres then get a power play. Really solid, aggressive penalty kill by the Sharks. That's killed off. The Sharks clear it out. But Skinner outweights Dell and roofs it. He scores another one from Jokiharju at 4:21. Cousins then had a rush chance that was saved. Dahlin flattens Nieto, and things get pushy at the whistle. I'm going to agree with a couple of announcers I've heard over the last couple of days. The fact that players throw clean hits, they're not late, they're not headshots, they're good, clean hits in the middle of the ice, and they're expected to drop the gloves or guys get really mad at them for throwing a clean hit. That is one of the most baffling things in today's game. It's a clean hit. If you're mad about it, go out and throw your own clean hits. There's no reason you should have to fight if you've thrown a clean hit. It is the most bizarre thing. Shots are 6-3 for the Sabres at 7 minutes. Hitting was ramping up after the Dahlin hit. Didn't ramp up that much. It didn't stay that way, but there were some hits being thrown after that Dahlin hit. Carlson with a rush chance, that's saved and held. Power then had a net feed that was held. Delay a game call. The Sabres get a power play. So again, with the delay of game, good cycle. It tired out the Sharks killers. The Sharks were just done. And then they get a line change in, but before they can really set up, Quinn scores, wired it, really nice play. So that's Quinn with another from Olofsson and Dahlin at 13:45. Quinn has been excellent. That's his first power play goal of the season. It's not going to be his last. Full 20 minutes by the Sabres. I had to put that up there because I thought, after that first period where they got shaky and once that game was tied, they seemed to lose focus. That second period was as focused as I've seen them. Third period, Okposo has a net feed that's held. Barabanov couldn't bury one in close. Peterka fires one wide on a fast break. Tuck was then denied on a net drive. Couture's denied on a 2-on-1. And then it's Quinn. Adds an insurance goal from Cousins at 11:23. It was a one-timer on a rush. So Quinn is really picking it up. So is Peterka. But Lindblom answers less than a minute later at 11:52 from Gadjevich and Vlasic. So San Jose at least keeping a little bit of doubt in there, right? Because we know Buffalo has been a team that can score a bunch and they can allow a bunch. Goalie pull with 4:26 left. Eventually, Alex Tuck hits the empty net. From Skinner and Thompson at 16:37, and your final score is 6-3 for Buffalo. They go to 11-13-1 with the win. San Jose drops to 8-16-4 with the loss. Yeah, they've won 8 out of 28. And the other thing I've been noticing over the last few weeks, Carlson's ridiculous offensive numbers have really flattened out. I think he has one goal now in their last 15 games. So the shots in this one, 15-13 Buffalo in the first, 13-6 Buffalo in the second. Both teams had 10 shots in the third. Final shots 38-29 for Buffalo. Power plays, San Jose scored on the only one they had. Buffalo was 2 for 4. So San Jose's penalty kill has started to drop off too. Between the game last night against Ottawa and now this one, allowing some power play goals. Hits were 19-9 for San Jose. So Dahlin's hit was one of only 9 thrown in the entire game, and still, guys got mad. Dell saves 32 out of 37. I don't think that tells you Dell played well, because he did. And then Luukkonen saves 26 out of 29 at the other end. So, pretty entertaining game. Now we move on to the Islanders at home against Chicago. Chicago tried. They did. Chicago absolutely tried. And if not for that second period, they could still be playing, go right into a shootout, all that other fun stuff. So Soderblom versus Varlamov. Soderblom is going to get a lot of time with Mrazek out. Of course, there's an emergency call-up and all that. The backup goaltender looked very young. So I'm just going to say that when they showed the backup, I'm like, oh, okay, so how old is this kid? Anyways, early jump for the Islanders. Reese Johnson then had a fight with Cizikas that kind of went 2 rounds, as in they kind of were done. And then they weren't. They decided they were going to fight again. So that was kind of fun because, sure, why not? Martin has a shot that's held. The Hawks press at 5.5 minutes, but they're kept to the outside. Bailey couldn't bury one in close. Kurashev's denied. We get Varley chance from that. That's not the only time we'll hear Varley chance in this game. Shots are 5-2 for the Islanders at 9 minutes. They came out. They were playing very well right out of the gate. The Islanders press with 9.5 minutes left, but the Hawks are doing their best to shot block out there. We get a post for Barzal, and Kachuk was upset with Barzal. He felt that he got a high stick. The review showed he high sticked himself. I don't think that made Kachuk feel any better. Nelson's denied. Lee then had a shot that was blocked. The Hawks were stuck on 2 shots for quite a while in that period. They would start getting some shots late in the period, though. It's pressed by the Hawks with 4 minutes left. Blackwell's denied and close. and the shots did even up. They were 8 apiece at one point, and then the Islanders get a couple more to be up in shots at the end of the period. But yeah, I thought the Hawks played a pretty good road period. Second period, Hawks press at a minute and a half. The shots were 2 apiece at 4 minutes. Wallstrom had a shot deflect out. The Islanders get a power play. That's killed off. Soderblom was really becoming the story in this game. He was keeping this scoreless as the Islanders were all over them in the second period. Cizikas and Martin are denied as the Islanders press, or are they? Because the Islanders, it's all Islanders at the half, and the play continued. But there was some debate about whether or not that Martin play had actually been denied by Soderblom. And it shows that on the replay, the puck barely crossed the line. The overhead cam doesn't tell you, but the one from, I believe it's the one right in front of the net, shows that it barely crossed the line. It was really close. But Martin gets the goal from Cizikas and Mayfield at 8:58, and Soderblom nearly saved it. The Hawks press to answer, but at 14:31, Parise scores from Pelican Pulick. So, the triple P right there. That's tipped in, and a good press by the Islanders led to the goal. The Hawks press again for an answer, and then there's a rush the other way, and it's in their net. So the Hawks are doing their best to set something up, and then the Islanders go the other way and score. It's Nelson from Beauvillier and Lee at 15:14. It was a great pass by Beauvillier as well. Makes it 3-0. 2:01 left. The Hawks get a power play. They were unable to generate a lot on that power play. And then at the horn, we had some discussions. We had some pushing, some disagreements, some dislike at the horn. Third period, the Islanders press at 2.5 minutes. Kachuk was denied. Varlamov holds on. Kane has a shot saved as the Hawks press. The Islanders then press. They draw a power play. That's killed off. The shots with 5.5 minutes left are 9-4 in favor of the Islanders. They really didn't give Chicago a lot to look at. Domi's denied and close. The Hawks would press. And momentum in the closing minutes was for the Hawks, but they just couldn't get that puck past Varlamov. Your final score is 3-0 for the Islanders. They go to 16-10 with the win. For Chicago, they're 7-13-4 with the loss. The shots in this one, 10-8 Islanders in the first, 20-6 Islanders in the second, 10-7 Islanders in the third. Final shots, 40-21 for New York. Power plays, Chicago 0-for-1, the Islanders 0-for-2. The hits were 19-19. Soderblom saves 37 out of 40. Varlamov saves all 21 shots for his 37th career shutout. So there you go. You're all caught up on Sunday's action. Monday's a 6-game night, so looking forward to that. Let me know your thoughts about these games in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.